All right. Let's wait them for YouTube. Wait. Yeah, yeah, we got good audio. Audio has been behaving very well. Unfortunately, I made a big mistake with my beautiful girl, and I don't know if she's gonna forgive me. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep her. Unfortunately, she's so beautiful, but I don't deserve her, so we'll see. Anyway, so today I remembered that if we assume ether, if we assume the ether theory, then we have a problem. We have a problem. The problem is the Michelson-Morley experiment, right? The Michelson-Morley experiment refuted the ether. It can't work with the ether, or so did they think. Michelson died believing that the ether exists. Einstein gave a lecture in 1920 that the ether exists. The ether definitely scientifically exists beyond the shadow of any doubt. I mean, everyone agrees that the ether exists. The question is, why did Michelson and Morley get a null result? How could that be? All right, so we already discussed that, of course, they should get a null result if we assume that the ether is, as Einstein said in his 1920 lecture, the ether is general relativity's fabric. It's the same thing. So if we assume it's the same thing, okay, now Einstein said it doesn't flow. Well, Einstein is wrong, in my humble, honest opinion. That doesn't make any sense. Of course, the fabric has to flow because what Einstein calls the curvature, as far as I'm concerned, that's just the acceleration field. So of course there is acceleration, which means there is flux. There's definitely flux in the field. That's curvature. If there is flux, that means it's flowing, it's accelerating. The field is accelerating. And if it's accelerating, it has a velocity and it picks up a velocity. And that's the only way to get a black hole. And that's the only way to get gravity to work. Why else am I being dragged into the ground? What is dragging me? Right? I feel a force on my tushy as I'm sitting in my very comfortable chair. I feel a force pushing my tushy up. So what's pushing my tushy down? So something has to be pushing me down. Something has to be dragging me down. What else is gravity? GR is supposed to be a theory of gravity. General relativity is GR. It's supposed to be a theory of gravity. So how is it a theory of gravity if it doesn't explain that? So of course that's the explanation. And that is, I didn't finish the course yet about GR. I'm just, I think, at lecture 4 or something, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I know the intuition on which GR is predicated. That GR is just predicated on intuition. So it's a theory of, it's a theory in the mind. It comes to explain gravity. It comes to explain this phenomenon that the moon stays put to the earth. Something is holding the moon, as Newton said. Something must be there. You can't assume it's a vacuum. That doesn't make any sense. You can't propose it's a vacuum. That's unreasonable. That's unscientific, said Newton. And of course, it makes perfect sense that Newton is right. Okay, the evidence for ether is overwhelming. So why did Michelson get a null result? Well, it's very simple. It's because he placed his apparatus perfectly in, what do you call that metal? Oh, mercury. It was floating in a bath of mercury. So it completely and thoroughly nullified the gravitational field. But the gravitational field is the flow of ether. So of course you would get null result. Okay, now we checked already. No one has ever done a vertical Michelson-Morley experiment. Well, there you go. Just perform it, and I predict you're gonna see the ether. You're gonna get the interference. That's my prediction. You will get the interference because there is no length contraction. Length contraction is just an optical illusion. And time dilation doesn't affect the equipment because it's just two waves. That it's not two clocks. And time is not influenced by anything. Even Einstein's relativity has nothing to do with time. It's about the clocks, the ticking of clocks. That has nothing to do with time. Time, you can measure time with the ticking of a clock. If that's how you define time, then fine. But that's just the ticking of a clock. It's because of wave mechanics. It's because the waves always travel at the same rate. And this is another prediction. Since the flow, according to Bernoulli, the flow of the ether is faster near the surface of the earth than it is otherwise, so the pressure would be lower here. Did Einstein take this into consideration that the ether pressure must be lower because the ether is flowing faster here? The vacuum, right? Something is dragging the very ether. The ether is being dragged too. I mean, and it's dragging stuff along with it, but the ether is being dragged. That's because there is a vacuum created when it interacts with a massive particle. And of course, it endows the mass to the particle through the Higgs mechanism. All right. So, so the Higgs interaction creates mass. The field, the ether, collapses when it interacts with this mass. When it collapses, it creates a vacuum. This vacuum drags the ether, right? This is like a sink. This is like a negative pump. It's like a pump. We're pumping water out, or fluid out of the universe somehow. A massive particle somehow pumps this liquid called ether or space or fabric or the fabric of reality. I think ether is the best name, even though ether doesn't sound like a liquid. So I don't know. I mean, you can space liquid we can call it because it creates a vacuum. That's the only way it can drag things, and this is a very strong vacuum. And there are no air bubbles. It doesn't stretch. I mean, this is very stiff. It's very it's like water. It's just like water, and there is a vacuum created in the universe because these massive particles they are vacuum cleaners. They're cleaning the universe out of they're cleaning the ether out of the universe, creating a vacuum, dragging in more ether, and maybe causing um, dark energy. Because that's what's causing dark. I don't know, but dark energy seems to be the replacing of the the destroyed, right? So it looks like it's being the ether is being destroyed. So it looks like the pumps, the sinks. Oh, I have a technician coming in, so I need to go take care of it. All right, we'll come back. We'll at least I got this off of my throat, of my chest. Okay, I'll come back and in greater numbers. See you later.